Hey guys, it's Jade with one more video. This one is about my stretching story, and my stretching isn't like, hey, stretch, like stretching my ears I'm talking about. Currently they are at 00, but I plan to go higher. For now, I'm sticking at 00. The reason I wanted to stretch my ears is because I like the overall look, and eventually I want to get my ears pointed, like an elf, and I just think it would look super cool. But I want that when they're like an inch or something. Yes, I plan on going to an inch. Well, first, of course, I had to pierce my ears. I had my ears pierced when I was 6, and it was done with a needle, which is really, really stupid. I went to some tattoo and piercing shop that's now closed. Um, my left ear actually ended up getting infected. Yeah, that sucked. That's what happened with that. I got my yeah, so I got my ears pierced when I was like 6 or something. Um, this one got infected. It's now like, I don't know, it's a little bitch with piercings and stretchings now. So I pierced them again when I was in like 7th grade, like by myself. I noticed they were a bit off because of where the original holes were, because they were done with a freaking needle. They were like a little bit off, not like a lot. You can't tell anymore though. You can probably tell if you're like an actual piercer, but I can't. Don't need to see that. I pierced them again. They ended up closing up because I don't know. I just took them out and I left them out for too long. Then I pierced them again right before I started stretching them. I just poked a needle through and then I put in my 12 gauge tapers, the little hooky ones. That's it. I had those in for a day. I stretched them with Kendall. Kendall didn't want to stretch any bigger, so. Then the next day, I tried to fit in these 10 gauge plugs, but I was like, can't really do that. So I got rid of those, or I didn't get rid of them. I went back to Spencer's, and I got everything from Spencer's, just by the way. I got all of my stretching stuff from Spencer's. I went to Spencer's, and I bought tapers from 10 gauge to 00. So I had all of the shit from there, but it was all tapers until 00. Then I got a pair of plugs too. That I don't know how much it was because at the time there was a sale for buy one get one for $1. So I'm not too sure how much it was altogether. Now it's buy one get one 50% off. So the next day I stretched my ears to 10 gauge. I ended up losing the 8 gauge and I don't know how. I think I lost it at the mall somewhere with Kendall. So I tried just switching to 6, but that didn't work out so well. And then I just switched to 4 gauge, and I'm not saying that this is how you should stretch your ears because I fucked up and now my ears hurt like balls whenever I stretch them because I'm not used to it because I didn't stretch enough or like I didn't go through enough. Like it's extremely painful and it was not a good idea. But I had for my 4 gauge, I had spirals. If you don't know what they are, they obviously just look like spirals. The 4 gauge ones were like that and they were pretty long, so I just put them through. They actually fit. And I got them about halfway through and then I had to stop because the pain was so intense from going from like a 10 gauge to a 4 gauge right away. So I just kind of pushed them through every once in a while, and eventually I just stayed at 4 gauge for a while. You can see in a bunch of my videos I have the 4 gauge spirals. After that, I went to 2 gauge. I loved those tapers. I had them in for a very long time. Like a long time. I don't know how long, but they're in a ton of my videos. And then I stretched my ears to 0. Now, what happened with this is I stretched I had glass tapers. I stretched this ear to 0. This one had no problem. Then I tried to stretch this one to 0, but it didn't work out so well, and it hurt. Like, and I got it to 0 eventually, but on the inside, it like scratched a bit. I guess like it tore or something. Like I don't know. I guess it just couldn't handle it. So I put back in the 2 gauge, and oh my god, taking those tapers out and putting them back in with that being ripped was incredibly painful. So I had 2 different tapers in for a while, and that was so irritating having 2 different ones. Like I had a glass taper that falls out all the time, and I had this 2 gauge taper that just was worn out because it was in my ear for so long. Like the colors were gone and everything. I eventually got this one to 0 also, and I had both zeros in for like I don't know how long, a couple weeks. They fell out all the time, and then a few days ago, I'd gotten out of the shower and I decided to put my tapers back in because obviously I should put my tapers back in. So I put them back in, and one of them just slid right through my ear and just smashed on the ground. It didn't completely smash, but it like chipped. So I literally had to put broken glass in my ear. And then the next day, which was Friday, I went to the mall by myself and I got 00 tapers, and they were the spiral kind. And I got also these plugs, which I forgot to put in my outfit of the day video. They look like this. Yeah. So those are my plugs currently, and that's kind of all I have to say. Stretching story. Yeah, that's my stretching story. What I use to stretch my ears is I don't stretch them dry because that hurts like ball sack. I always use a kind of lube, I guess you call it. I use olive oil or the Goopy from the vitamin E pills. Those work really well just because they're like slimy and stuff. Thought I had to burp, but it didn't. So yeah, that's my stretching story. I don't recommend doing it the way I did because it was really stupid of me. I do plan on going higher. They are now officially at 00. They'd still hurt, yes. If you want to start stretching your ears, make sure you know what you're doing for a job. Like, you know what you want to do for a job. Obviously, I'm still pretty young, so I don't know exactly what I'm doing. That's why I'm staying at 00 for a while. But 00, you can always stretch down. You can always get surgery to fix them if you really don't care. I obviously, as an adult, want to be a tattoo artist or a hairstylist or a piercer, something along the line of that, because I like that kind of stuff. That's what I want to do, so I am able to stretch my ears if I want to. Don't call them gauges. I made the mistake of doing that. I didn't realize that that was the wrong term. Gauging your ears is the wrong term. It's stretching your ears, or yeah, stretching your ears. These are called plugs, or there's tunnels, or spirals, or tapers. Do not wear tapers as jewelry either. I made the mistake of doing that because I didn't, well, the ones that I got were actually jewelry. They were all spirals. Anything I wore as jewelry were spirals. They weren't tapers. But don't wear tapers as jewelry unless you're just starting out and you need to just like stretch them and then you need to keep them in there for a day or something. That's fine, whatever. But don't wear them as jewelry because it looks weird. I know lots of people do it, but it's wrong. It makes your ears fucked up and it makes them stretch really messed up, and then your ears will go like this. Putting a plug in does hurt the first time. I'm just trying to think of anything quickly because this is 8 minutes long. Yeah, that's kind of all I have to say. I don't remember what I was saying before. Don't call them gauges. Gauging your ears, like, okay, the size of them are actually gauges. So like 2nd gauge, 10 gauge, like that is the actual size of them. But if you say you're gauging your ears, that's the wrong term, and yeah.